Okay, it is still Friday, June 7th, and I'm down here at the Hall of Justice now to carry on and to go forward. One of the two places I want to go to, and I'll make two separate sets of films for it. The first one is John Monroe, who is the secretary to the Police Commission. Here is my paperwork to him. Let's just go ahead and start off with the last page on this, which is 321. Sorry about that, folks. It's just difficult in this sunlight. It basically says, thank you for our meeting, which I videotaped. Yesterday I called and left a message to send me the addresses in order to proceed with the letter requesting a meeting with the commissioners in order to point out the flawed and failing methodology as spoken of. This was 321. I was asking for the email addresses for the police commissioners so that when I ask for a meeting, it can go forward and it can be documented and there can be no plausible denial. You know, Mr. Monroe is trying to give me his methodology, which is of course set to fail. However, I want to be sure that I turn over everything and to prove that it won't work. So he then writes me on, let's see, where is this? March 21st. And he basically says, Mr. Garza, I would be happy to forward any correspondence to the commissioners you wish. Just send your emails to me and I will forward them. This is naturally the rigged, failed methodology. Because, of course, to this date, I still haven't gotten my requested meeting, nor the email addresses from the secretary. To which I respond, let's see, on 321. And you must note that this goes to everyone concerned. Ross, John, Greg Sir, David Curia, myself, Kathleen Sibilis, Kathleen Billingsley, Marilyn Tavener, Diane Dootley, Donald White, OIG, Trent Rohr, David Chu. The list just goes on who I include. I also ask him to include these same people in his response, and of course he never does. My response to him was, thank you for your kind offer, however I must pass. Please send me the requested email addresses as indicated below, so in the future when I follow up to the requested meeting and videotaping, there can be no plausible denial since the email request and notification of videotaping will be sent to the commissioners and not a secretary who may or may not perform per policy to forward the request and materials on. So basically, like I said, I still haven't gotten it. Skipping a paragraph. Well, I'll just read it. As you can see, this will leave no room for doubt. Correct procedure and what I received after the proper request. I did, however, note that in addition to not fulfilling my specific request, you did not, per my email below, send your response to all inclusive. You know, that's Kathleen Sibilis, everybody, you know, that I kept emailing, as expressed in my desire in order to keep them abreast of the failing methodology. Thank you for the opportunity to document for reasonable men. That way, when this all gets, you know, taken apart later on, it can prove that it's set to fail. So, that was, like I said, 321. Of course, no response. So I write him back on 324. Still waiting. Okay, on 417, you can see that once again I write. Still waiting. Okay, then I get an email from him. On 417 it says, good morning, Mr. Garza. As in the past emails and conversations with you, my advice and directions are the same. You have three options to make your concerns heard. Well, you know, option number one was to email me the information, and two, send a copy of a hard letter to the commissioners, and three, to show up at a police commission meeting. Well, you know, unfortunately, I did mail him this. This is my hard copy, and I've not gotten what I requested. As far as going to the police commission, you can step in front of a bunch of commissions, express your part, and they don't have to respond. It's very obvious it's rigged to fail. So on 417, I wrote him back and told him that his non-viable options do not produce results, and I've already requested repeatedly, you know, the fact of the email addresses, and I'm continuing to document. Then on 423, I follow up, and once again, you know, explain what's going on, and at this point, I go ahead and use the old-fashioned way that they normally do it, is where they put in everybody's name at sfgov.org. So at that point, I had tried to do it with the commissioners' names that I had gotten. Let's see, let me find it for you, so that you can see that those were all kicked back because naturally it didn't work. Still looking. I know that they're here. Here they are. Let's see. Joe Marshall at sfgov.org. Thomas Mizuko at sfgov.org. Susie Loftus, Patricia Seuss, Julius Thurman, Angela Chan, Carol Kingsley, T. Redman. It just continues. So basically it just shows you that, when you use the procedure, that doesn't work either. And apparently that was sent on 3/24. Anyway, in the interim, I notified him that as of 5/29, I still had not gotten what I was requesting. And then I also made him aware that there was an issue in a recent newspaper about how a police commissioner, Thomas Mizuko, wonderful comment as reflected by the article. In response to the incident, Mizuko praised the first responders, including police officers who performed chest compressions on the man until paramedics and firefighters took his place. But he railed against many witnesses who did nothing to help the man. So basically there was an article about an individual who was, I guess, dying on the street, and everybody was just filming and not doing anything. So the commissioner's wonderful PR here. Now it begs the question, why aren't they following up with my videos and everything if it is such a wonderful thing? Also, where are we here? I also notify him in this 5/29 letter that since he didn't provide the email addresses, I followed up and got as many as possible through the Ethics Commission. Imagine, a simple trip to ethics got me what your repeated refused to provide. And in addition, I will bring these issues up to the commissioners. Here's where I went to the Ethics Commission and scanned the California Form 700, Statement of Economic Interest, for each and every police commissioner, and it's where I got the email addresses and sent the email to them. So I'm basically going to follow up with Mr. Mr. Monroe, and ask what's going on. All right, thank you.